What's up, universe? Josh Bricklary here from JBVO on YouTube, coming at you with another episode of my VO journey. This is episode 5 of this video series documenting my journey into the career of voice acting and voiceover. If you've been following along with this journey so far, I really appreciate the time that you've taken to watch the episodes so far. If you have not yet subscribed, please hit that button down below, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when a new episode goes live. Comments and thumbs ups are always welcome as well. So all of that helps me create better content, gets better statistics on YouTube to reach more people, because that's ultimately the goal here. Is I want to help you as I am learning and experiencing this myself, so that you can avoid delays or pitfalls or things that I run into, but also better acquire some information, as I spend a lot of time researching and finding this information and experiencing. I can distill this down, give it to you in a smaller format, a much more compact format. And, I want to spread that word to as many people as possible that need this type of help for getting started in voiceover. Anyway, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. This episode, this video, whatever we want to call these, we're going to talk a little bit more about ACX, which I discussed in the last video, what my progress looks like so far with that. And we're going to discuss a few tips and tricks with my beginner voiceover setup, and some things that I have started doing or have discovered that kind of helps just my booth, my quality, my recording space, and just little things that help out there. So sit tight. It's going to be a shorter video, but it's going to be packed with some really good information. So here we go. I just realized that's empty. So fake sip. Hope that was convincing. Maybe I should do on-screen acting instead of voiceover, huh? So ACX. I talked a bit about that last week. I did get a book gig with ACX. It was a little bit smaller, a little bit different of a audio book, something that's a little unconventional. I'll share more details about that when that book is actually live. So I've finished the book. I sent it to the author for their approval. They approved it, and now it's going over to ACX for their ultimate final, basically QA, quality assurance, and approval there. They do run basically a kind of a software automated check on your audio when you upload it for the approval, and everything checked out there. It didn't say that my levels were too low or anything like that, so that was great. So I'm hoping there are no issues when it goes through their actual QA process before it actually gets posted onto Audible, for purchase or download or whatever. So that's super exciting. That should, I think they said it could take up to 30 days, depending, I guess, on their queue and kind of how jam-packed they are there. But hopefully I'll hear back from them a lot shorter than that, and we'll see that posted, and I'll share that with you at that time. But what's really exciting, not only finishing that, but I also got a new gig. I spent some time auditioning after I wrapped up with that and submitted it. I spent some time auditioning for other books on ACX because I want to keep diving in there. I want to get a little bit more experience there. Fiverr has been dead. I don't know. I just feel like I could put a little bit more work in there, but putting up a gig, I feel like takes a lot more work than obviously what I'm getting out of it right now. Maybe another gig being posted with some different stuff. I've had some ideas to try to differentiate myself. So we'll see. If I have some time, which no, I won't because I've got a new gig. But if I have some extra time eventually, I maybe will try Fiverr again, throw another reel out into the pond and see what I can get. But as for right now, ACX is doing what I want and getting me some work. So this gig is actually super exciting. This audiobook is from a reputable author already on Amazon. I looked them up, and they have a ton of books already out there. A lot of reviews on the books, really high reviews. And I didn't look and or can't see sales numbers, but based off the reviews, the amount, and the quality, I think this is going to be a good one. This is another royalty share, which I did discuss in the last episode video about royalty share versus the hourly rate. So this is another royalty share, but because of their reputation and the amount of books that they're selling, I'm hoping that this audiobook is going to perform similarly and going to actually pay off. So fingers crossed on this, taking a little bit of a bet. And it is a bigger project. They rate them by basically words, and they estimate, how long, hours wise it should take. This is about 80,000 words, just over. And they're wanting turnaround in only a few weeks. So really quick turnaround. Obviously, I've got nothing else on my plate right now. So I said, hey, let's do it. I put that in my message even when I submitted my audition. I said, hey, I've got nothing else on my plate. Would be happy to get this turned around for you real quick. And they were looking for possibly someone to work with in the future as they've got more books to transfer into audiobooks. So fingers crossed, this could be something going forward. A repeat client through ACX would be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. I can't wait for my first book that I did to actually get approved and get posted. Again, I'll share that when I can. And just having a fun time with ACX, doing some audiobooks and doing some auditioning on there as well, reading different stuff. There's so much out there. It's pretty cool. If you're not familiar with Audible or audiobooks, there's literally everything. So it's fun stuff. I'm enjoying it so far. Let's talk about the tips and tricks. So as I've been, working on this last book and just trying to improve my recording quality and the audio quality, a lot of that has to do with the space. I know I talked about that in the very first episode, and I've talked about that since as well, that your booth, your space that you're recording in is oftentimes more important than the equipment that you're using. Yeah, it's good to have good equipment, but you can get by with a very inexpensive USB microphone if you have a really great space to record in. So I'm going to share some of the tips and tricks that I have picked up elsewhere or have just kind of started on my own, that's hopefully leading me into success with my quality when I'm recording. So first up is obviously the booth, quote unquote booth. As you can see behind me, my nice festive Christmas blanket and just a big old fleecy type blanket. Those help block a lot of the reverberations that would go all the way to the back wall and back to the microphone. And, I've already talked about some of the foam that I've got on the walls, things like that. So little things. Again, the booth I talked about 2 episodes ago, fairly inexpensive, $35 to $50 for PVC and the joints. And then, a couple of blankets I just had laying around. You can use moving blankets. You can spend some more money on some nice heavy moving blankets. That's what a lot of people recommend. I didn't want to spend the money yet, so I've just used what I had in a closet not being used as a blanket. So now they're being used for soundproofing, sound isolation is the correct term. Another thing that I kind of needed to do was I had my tower PC sitting up on my desk. I'm also a gamer, and so I had my gaming PC, something that I built myself with, the pretty lights and the fans and all that jazz, and obviously put that up on my desk to display it, kind of a nice little piece. That's what you do with gaming PCs if you're unfamiliar. But because of the fan noise, and even with me adjusting those fans, in the software and putting it on silent mode and, doing that while I'm recording, trying to make it as quiet as possible, it was still just picking up too much in the microphone with the sensitivity and what I needed to do without being right up on the mic and distorting and all that jazz. So I really needed to move that. So I moved my PC down to the floor. Don't worry, it's not sitting on the carpet. I have it on a stand. They're advertised as monitor stands, but I saw several people say, oh yeah, I put my computer on this on the floor. It's great, blah, blah, blah. It's off of Amazon. I might put the link below if I can re-find it again in my orders and if you care. But yeah, just a little stand, put my PC down there, and that really cut out a lot, if not all, of the sound that I could hear from those fans. Still obviously putting it on silent mode and all that jazz when I'm recording just to cut out that much more, but that did a big chunk of help in my recording space. So be wary of that. Be wary of your PC, laptop, whatever. The fans in there, if they do ramp up, if they do get going, your mic can pick that up really easily. The next thing that I did, kind of a life hack / a recording hack, is I got one of those over-the-door, I don't know if you could hear that, but the big old truck drove by. Gotta love some of the neighbors in the neighborhood. Anyway, sorry. I got one of those over-the-door hangers. So if you're unfamiliar, this is kind of a little piece of metal that just hooks over the door. And so on one side of the door, there are hooks to put hats and jackets and things like that. I got one of those for the office space, not only because I had some hoodies that were just kind of laying around on chairs or the end of the bed, or, it's something that I use pretty regularly, but they just didn't have a place to be when I wasn't wearing it. So I got an over-the-door hanger, put up some of my hoodies and fleece jackets, thicker kind of, things that I wear a lot, but also things that should help absorb some sound, not only getting through that door, because these are, the cheapo doors that are like hollow on the inside, hopefully help with that, but also help with some of the reverberations hitting off that hard surface if it does escape my little blanket fort here. So should hopefully help serve a purpose with audio, but also help serve a purpose for real life. So good 2-in-1, money well spent. At least I think so. You can ask my wife. Another thing that helps with audio is closed back headphones. This might be obvious for some people, and a lot of you may already have closed back headphones. I prefer open back headphones when I'm listening to music or playing games or whatever. A big reason for open back that I prefer is so that I can hear my toddler if she wakes up in the night, because usually my time to game and do recordings and things like this is at night when everyone's asleep. So the better I can hear that, if I'm needed, if I need to press pause and jump out there to assist, open back headphones lets me hear that. It doesn't close it all out, though open back lets sound out as well as sound in. So open back, not good for recording because it's going to come out of your headphones right into your microphone. So closed back headphones are a must. I did buy some recently. These are Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. They're kind of on the lower end of their studio recording quality headphones. You can get some for much cheaper. I believe these were about $99. You can also get some for much more. So these are kind of, I would say, in the middle range of some quality headphones that you can get. I'm sure you can get some for, half the price, but I wanted to get something that's going to be quality. It's a trusted brand, and they're going to last me, quite a while, I'm sure. These aren't going to be going out of style or, shouldn't be breaking on me anytime soon. So invested in some good headphones. I really enjoy them. I'm wearing them now just to kind of show them off. They're really comfortable too. I like the headband and the padding in there and on my ears. The way they fit me is really good. They're very comfortable. May differ for head sizes. These have some play, so you can see they can go wider if you've got a little bit bigger head. So I enjoy them. Don't clamp too much. I can wear them for several hours and be perfectly fine in them. So closed back headphones are a must for recording and keeping sound out of going into your microphone. The next thing is, it's a little one, but I turn the ceiling fan off in the room. Basically always have the ceiling fan going, circulate air, just kind of keep things going, feels good. This room that I'm in the house typically gets warmer than every other room anyway. So I'm always have that ceiling fan on, except for when I record. It's that little bit of sound. With the sensitivity of the mic, it can just pick it up, especially if it starts, doing a squeaky thing or kind of swaying on the ceiling as it's rolling. Ceiling fans, they do a lot of weird stuff. So just besides the wind movement and the fan blades going, the weird fan things and the noises, they just want to cut out all possibility that's going to ruin a take. So fan goes off, gets a little warm in here, but I, step out and get some cold air and just kind of keep myself alive. Don't torture yourself. But that's a little one. I also, in relation to heat and things like that, when I'm here during the day and say wife's at work and in-laws have the kiddo, I turn off the AC/heating in the house so that, again, I don't hear that kicking on. The vent for that in my house, or I guess the filter, the intake, is in the hallway, literally like right outside this room. So that can be heard. Like I can just hear it to my naked ears when the heating or whatever comes on and I'm sitting in the office. So I turn that off when I can. That's not obviously an option at night when everyone's sleeping. We need to keep it warm during the winter, all that jazz. So sometimes if that interrupts me, I may have to try to do some extra tweaking to de-hum or cut out some of that noise if it's audible in the recording. But otherwise, I just try to eliminate that right out the get-go when I can. And the last thing is not really a tip for recording, but it's something that I've been using recently. It is throat coat tea. Throat coat tea, it is supposed to help just with your throat health, and just, warm tea is always good for you. When you get sick, you're feeling congested and all that jazz, cold and flu season tea just is nice. Throat coat, though, it's made with, some ingredients that's supposed to help your throat kind of heal and just be more relaxed and just kind of help take care of your throat. Speaking a lot and doing things like that. This is supposed to help. I've been drinking it the last few days. I enjoy tea regardless, so it is just kind of a nice way to kind of warm up my throat. I usually drink it before I start recording, and it does have a slight licorice flavor, so that may be a turnoff for some people. I was not keen about it before I bought it. I was like, I'll still try it. I put some honey in my tea. I don't go crazy, but just a little bit of honey in there. And honestly, the licorice isn't bad. So if you just absolutely hate licorice, give it a try. You can find it just about anywhere. You can get it on Amazon. I picked mine up at Target because I happened to be at Target. I was like, oh, I want to see if they have this tea. And they did. So I imagine you can find it just about anywhere. And there's a few different types as well. They have one with echinacea and lemon. So try to maybe cut some of that licorice flavor. But I just got the normal throat coat, put some honey in it. It's good stuff. I like it. We'll see long term, if it does help, if I continue to drink it as I'm doing more work and I'm speaking more, if it really does, help with recovery or just the general health of my throat as I talk. So we'll see, but that's just something I want to give out to you guys. So I said this was going to be a shorter episode. Doesn't look like it's going to be unless my editing really cuts this stuff down. So I can just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, though. I hope that was some helpful information, things that maybe you didn't consider in setting up your space, turning off the fan, moving your computer. Do what you can do to just cut out all of those little things that could just ruin a really good take. So until next time, I'm Josh Bricolaרי from JBVO. Thanks so much. Take it easy.